Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a one-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
The master is dead. Someone has to take his place.
As long as the Slayer's alive, whoever takes his place will be sharing his grave.
And let the soul who kills her wear his mantle.
Can you do it?
Yes. This weekend, the night of St. Vigius, our power shall be at its peak. When I kill her, it'll be the greatest event since the crucifixion. And I should know I was there.
You were there? Please. If every vampire who said he was at the crucifixion was actually there, it would have been like Woodstock.
Well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're two boys who have watched all of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We're going through some rewatches now. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
Today, we're going back to Season 2, Episode 3, titled School Hard, directed by John T. Kretschmer, written... Okay, here we go. Story by Joss Whedon and David Greenwald. Teleplay by David Greenwald. And, yeah, man, this is an old episode of Buffy. Like,
it's a classic. It's the one that sets it all up, as we said in our previous podcast.
Yeah.
It's the one. It's the one.
But before we get into it, everybody, we have a shout out. Shout out. Big shout out for our artist buddy in the UK, Jay Taylor. Jay Taylor did a 5-star Spotify review. Thank you so much, Jay Taylor, for that review. If you want to get a shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, take a screenshot of it, send it in to us. Of course, join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. We're doing Boys Watching Angel, Jawbreaker for Boys Watching Movies this month. And
this week.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. We got that going on. I'm going to say I hosted a show last night, and I haven't talked that loud and did the whole pump up a crowd situation in quite some time. So my throat is a little rough today. So if I sound a little different, sorry everybody.
What political rally was this that you were hosting something for?
I was hosting the dog eating rally for They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets.
That's on me. I threw it out there.
But yeah, while I was doing the Sloppy Joe shout out situation, I really felt that in my throat. That was not good.
And we heard it. We all heard it.
Yeah. But School Hard, I know previously in our Q&A episode, somebody asked, what do you think is the best episode kind of entry point for Buffy? What would you show someone that's this is Buffy in a nutshell to get them kind of hooked on it? I threw out School Hard because I was I think this is just a good episode. You get the introduction of Spike. It's the high school years, which a lot of people consider to be the best seasons and everything. And then going through and watching this episode, I was like, oh, you do need quite a bit of context for this episode to really work.
I think that was a little bit of my pushback, is that it's you need to know a lot about
there's a lot going on. I was just thinking of it from it's a good episode. It introduces Spike, who's a constant.
Yes.
But then there's a lot of other stuff going on.
I mean, we can start with the anointed one. If you're just walking in and you don't know who that guy is, you're like, wait, who's this little kid? And why is he dead now?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can get it from context clues. Hold on, we're going to pop open. I'm going to pop open this energy drink. I'm going Dream Float again.
Dream Float as well.
All right, we're doubled up on the Dream Floats, baby. But yeah, when it opened up with like a lot of anointed ones situation going on, I was like, oh yeah. I knew that Spike killed him at the end of the episode, but I didn't realize how much of it had to do with the anointed one.
There's an actor in here that we didn't call out in the original podcast, which is crazy. Because the first vampire, the vampire that's talking about Christianity and everything, the one that Buffy ends up killing outside the Bronze, that is played by Gregory Scott Cummins, who is Mac's dad from It's Always Sunny.
No way.
As soon as I heard him talking, I was like, I know that voice from something. And I looked him up, and that's Mac's dad. And I was like, I can't believe we never talked about that in the I was like, I'm sure when I listened to the previous podcast, we definitely mentioned this. Nope.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is why we do rewatches.
This is why we do a rewatch.
And that's the episode. Thank you so much for
Honestly, I think our original episode covered pretty much everything. The one little flub that I thought was funny is that you said that they were studying Spanish in the Bronze.
Yeah, it was French.
Which is funny considering that you have taken French and not Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Oui. I did take French.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. Do I remember any of it? No. I could count to 10, maybe.
I noticed that Jenny Calendar was credited as Robia Lamort in this.
Yep. I think that's how I was saying her. And then later on, she became Robia Scott.
Wait, she went Lamort and then Scott?
Dude, I don't know.
Because last episode, you were saying Robia Lamort.
Yeah.
But where did Robia Scott come from? I don't know if Scott was later or before or after.
I'm not sure either. And am I looking it up right now? Yes, I am. Did I love her? Am I still in love with her? Yes. Because she's a total babe.
I will question her outfit this episode for being a techno-pagan. She was normally like in that leather jacket and stuff. This one, she's real dressed down.
Scott is her later addict. It's Robia Lamort Scott.
Oh,
so
right.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we had a couple of issues with her techno-pagan thing, which I forgot was like such a fun term for her because she was like the internet. Like, I think that there's a line in this where Giles is talking about like, well, Jenny was researching, surfing the internet. Just the disdain that Giles has for computers and the internet is so funny.
Yeah. And they do a perfect job of having the two of them couple up for what's to come. Like you really, their bond is what really makes passion work.
Yeah. And we get a little bit of Armin Shiverman. I was like, it was so funny how this episode starts out with like Buffy and Sheila in Armin Shiverman's Principal Snyder's office, and he's just like, who is the worst student? Now, I'm certain that we talked about this in the original episode.
100% did.
But why would you entrust your worst students to throw this party?
No help from other people. Yeah.
I know, like Willow and Xander are helping Buffy at one point, and he's like, are you helping her? It's like, is she supposed to do literally all of this alone?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And like, why would, I mean, there's so many things wrong with this. Like, how is Buffy the worst student?
Yeah.
as opposed to the Sheila girl who, I mean, we don't really know anything about her.
We don't know where Sheila goes. I remember watching this episode and us thinking, oh, she's going to come back at some point. Nope, this is her. This was the actress Alexandra Jones. And this is her like last TV acting role. But she's produced a bunch of stuff. So
Sheila's just out there.
Sheila's just out there. I forgot that Sheila gets hit with the broadside of the axe also. That axe is really just they're not using it the right way.
I mean, and you could behead her with the axe because she's a vampire.
Yeah. Maybe they wanted to bring her back and they just didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, man, I was just like, this episode opens up so strangely with like Principal Snyder like waxing poetic about who his worst student is in front of them.
It's very the filming style is very comedic, very like and edit on a joke, and that's funny. But later they would just kind of just do matching on lines, and it wouldn't be for like that payoff.
Yeah,
where it's like, is the Slayer tough? And then she's combing her hair, and she's like, ow, and it's like that's such a jokey edit.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Man.
I mean, it was the tone of the show at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much like craziness in this episode, like just little moments that I'm like, why would you? What? Wait, what? Why? Like with like number one, why would you put Buffy and Sheila in charge of this? Like, oh, you have to like win my trust back or whatever. And then like as soon as he's done meeting with Joyce, he just shuts the lights off while people are still.
The shutting the lights off is insane. People are still milling around. The tables aren't put away.
Yeah.
He's just like, I met with Joyce. Click, click. I guess
Mission
nobody. I guess I don't have to talk to any other parents. Click, click.
There's loads of people just sitting at tables and he just shuts the lights out.
Did they need to turn the lights out for the fakeness of the jumping through the window to work or something? Like, why couldn't they just...
I guess.
Oh, I guess they needed them to be in shadow so people could be like, I think there's something wrong with their face, but I have Sunnydale blindness and I think that's not a vampire.
Exactly. That's exactly why they had to do that. It was just like, oh, I couldn't really get a look at his face, but it looked like something was messed up. What was up with their face? It's PCP.
Joyce is like perfectly oblivious. Like she says the meanest thing ever to her daughter. Like just like that don't disappoint me thing. That moment was, we brought it up in the last podcast, but that still hits hard. Like, geez, Joyce. And then she just sees her daughter die-harding it through the vents, climbing through, fighting people with axes, fighting PCPers that are that may have killed a man that Joyce has seen, and then have like tried to get into, like, we're using an axe, the Shining style, to try to break through the door. And her young daughter, her like 17-year-old daughter, is just like out there fighting them.
Yeah. And
she's just like, Buffy, I know you're fighting sometimes and you get into fights, but there's like 20 PCPers out there. Grown men.
Honestly,
on drugs.
I don't even think she's 17 at this. She's 16 at this point.
I think she's probably 7.
Because Surprise is later on. And that's when she has sex with Angel.
She has sex when she's 17, I think. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah. She probably, I think this is season 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you're right, because she turned 17 on Surprise. That's her birthday. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
But yeah, like what a crazy mom moment of like, we gotta trust Buffy. She's like locked in a room. She's a student. Like Principal Snyder's like biggest thing is like, why am I listening to this 16, 17-year-old girl?
Yeah.
And her mom. Like it seemed like they had a bonding moment, just shitting on Buffy. And then she's like, we need to listen to Buffy. She knows what she's talking about. And he's like, oh, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Joyce is like, only I get to shit on Buffy. You don't get to shit on Buffy. Only I shit on Buffy. And
yeah,
the Principal Snyder thing in this, it seems like he knows vampires exist.
yeah,
But he still is acting strange. Like he thinks he can go out there. He can go out the window. Don't know why. Yeah. And does he not know that Buffy is the Slayer?
Well, wasn't that a misdirect that he knew that vampires exist? Because this is the first episode that like leads to our speculation, like the audience, like, oh, Principal Snyder knows what's up. But I think later when he's like doing dealings with the mayor.
Well, I don't think he knows the mayor's a demon, but I think he knows vampires exist.
Okay. I can't remember quite exactly if there's like a confirmation episode where he's like, yeah, of course vampires
But
exist.
it's crazy that the mayor turns into the giant snake serpent thing and then he tries to talk it down because he's such a principal. He's a interesting character, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, because he goes on a rant about like never getting a thanks or something. But he's definitely a part of the. They don't go too deep into the institutionalized stuff of what's happening because like the cop knows and they're covering things up, which seems to make sense in this town where otherwise how.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and it would make sense like, it goes all the way up to the mayor and the mayor started this town. Yeah. Like it would make sense that the mayor maybe like employed Principal Snyder to cover stuff up and brush it all under the rug. But it seemed like Principal Snyder was just like happy to be like one of the mayor's favorite people.
Yeah, it would make sense more if the mayor wanted there to be no people dying at the school, since the plan is to eat all the students at graduation.
Yeah.
So it seems like having them like die or the school burn down and all that stuff would be a problem. Like the Spike thing would be a problem.
Yeah, he'd be upset that Spike is. Well, when he does come back in season 3, he's like, "Oh, Spike's back. Oh man, he's kind of a problem."
Do they ever meet up, the mayor and Spike? I don't think they ever cross paths.
I don't think so.
No. I think he disappears. He goes
because in Lover's Walk, in season 3, that's like the only Spike episode in season 3, and the mayor like kind of hears about Spike's arrival and he's like, "Oh, that could be a problem," but they never really like mix it up.
Okay.
But yeah, the intro of Spike, it was interesting to see the evolution of his accent.
And his scar has like diminished. It's like softened over.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was asking. Sometimes I was like, oh, does he still have the scar? And then you see it and it's like very light there. But this one was like, it's like protruding.
It's big. It's pink. It's huge. Yeah, man. And he's just like going for it. We got Miss Edith, of course.
Yes,
I forget Miss Edith.
I was like, I know exactly why I forgot Miss Edith, because I was not paying attention that hard to that scene the first watch.
Yep. Yeah, I was like, Miss Edith doesn't get to look because she's been a naughty girl.
In the previous podcast, we were like, I don't know what's going on with this weird lady, Drusilla.
Yeah.
Watching it after knowing her is so fun. She's doing it, man.
No, and especially like you said, knowing what she goes through and like how Angel fucked her up and how crazy she, like even after she gets quote unquote cured or whatever, she's still a fucking weirdo and she still speaks in riddles all the time.
Oh, she's great. And she's like clairvoyant, which we don't find out like here, but we find out later. Yeah. But the dolls, the Victorian dress, like the room, and then you contrast that with Spike and his like leather jacket, and you're just like, okay, this is interesting.
Oh yeah,
Spike seems like a smart vampire for the first time in a long time, because we haven't gotten Angelus yet. So all the vampires we've seen have been very dumb.
Yeah.
And now we got Spike, who's like smart, who can plan, who can set things up, who can and he's known as killing 2 Slayers. Yeah.
I mean, when he came in, it was like, hey, here's charisma. This guy is a threat. This is going to be interesting to watch. I mean, my favorite part, and I know that I mentioned this on the first time but when he's just like, hears Buffy up in the vents, and he just grabs like those long pokers or whatever and just starts trying to stab her through the ceiling.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, no other vampire would have ever thought of that.
They would have climbed up there.
Yeah, they would have just kept jumping and trying to kick the door down like 800 times. They're supposed to be super strong, supernatural beings. And firemen can kick down doors, but vampires can't.
I don't know. We watched Trap, and I'm not sure if firemen can kick down doors.
Use your head.
Yeah.
Smash. I will say there was like a weird kind of similar framing where after that vampire starts using the axe on the door to try and break in where Joyce and Principal Snyder are, and you see Joyce talking to Buffy through the door, it is kind of similar to that Restless scene where Joyce is walled off and talking to Buffy through the door.
Yeah, I don't think that's purposeful necessarily, but I mean, it's just like, how else are you going to talk through a hole in a wall?
Yeah. I'm certain that it's not purposeful, but it is also like still hitting the same note of like Joyce doesn't know, she can't really see what's going on in Buffy's whole life, and Buffy's keeping her in the dark, in the shadow, in the wall or whatever about what's going on, because at this point Joyce doesn't know that Buffy's the Slayer.
Because she chooses not to believe it.
Yeah.
Your 16-year-old daughter just took down a gang of PCP toughs, and you're just like, okay, cool. Like people that were planning to murder. Like, that's insane. Insane.
Yeah. And you saw murder potentially a guy just like yank him from a window.
The guy screamed it, and no one went, hey, is that guy okay afterwards?
Yeah, they just got a substitute teacher next day.
We brought this up in the podcast, but no one really goes to check on Willow and Cordelia at the end.
Nope, they're just left there all night long.
Yeah,
praying for some aspirin.
Which kind of is something that happens in the Angel episode that we're gonna review. And I will say that if you want to see me have a lot of like, oh yeah, I was wrong about that, or oh boy, I was wrong on that one, that Angel podcast is the one. Lineage is the one where I got a lot of misses. There's a lot of references to Buffy in that one too.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of I have some misses coming up too, because the stuff that's going on in Lineage as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's one to check out. It's one to check out if you're not on a Patreon.
Yeah, but it's also interesting to see like how differently. Going back, like how differently everything was shot and the color grading too. Like I know that there's like some issues with the remaster, but I will say that like season 6 and 7, the colors are a lot more vibrant.
Yeah.
And here it's like very muted, very gray. And I get that's like technology advances and also remaster problems, but it was just a very different watching experience. I was like, oh yeah, this is very, like, did they even color grade on this? Are we just watching the raw footage?
The intro song is arranged a little differently too.
Yeah, the intro song is not as bombastic.
Yeah.
It's the same song,
but
they just re-recorded it and added some fidelity to it or something.
Yeah, it's definitely not hit. And which is interesting because the Angel one has had the same theme all the way through. Like, they have not changed that at all.
Yeah, I forget when they updated the Buffy theme song, but yeah, it's
more poppy. The one is more poppy than the later one. Because like, this one was like, it's like, it's very, and then you can hear at one point where they like, obviously the song doesn't cut there. Like, there's like an edit in the song where it jumps to like a later part of the song.
Yeah, and then there's also just like the weird screams that they added onto it. And I also forgot, because it's been so long since they were doing this, the intro with like Giles, every once in a generation. Like they used to start every episode with that.
Yeah.
And hearing that again, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was like every episode.
It's such a strange tone setter going back.
Yeah.
Because it makes this show... it's so bleak starting that it doesn't make the show seem like it's going to have any type of like fun humor to it. It's so like bleak.
And it's dark.
That is the Slayer. You're like, oh boy, this horror show that I'm about to watch.
Yeah, every once in a generation there is a chosen one, the Slayer, and she alone must stand against the forces of evil, the vampires.
Even he says alone.
Yeah.
Wrong.
As we'll see later on in this season.
Yeah, I mean, they set up some stuff. They set up the, like when Spike's misogynist. It's like when he says the women and runs away.
Yeah.
They set up him liking her. I looked at like the trivia, but I looked at trivia afterwards. But watching that scene when he sees her in the bronze, dude's infatuated, and he said he played it that way on purpose.
Yeah, like he's looking at her like with lust in his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, you're the Slayer.
Have you never seen a girl before?
Yeah, that was interesting to see him like playing it that way, because he's looking at her like with like, oh, okay.
Man, just looking at the 16-year-old girl, like,
that's the one common thing amongst vampires.
Yeah.
They're all trying to get it in.
I mean, they're from a previous time, where people got married at 15. So, that's just their culture.
Yeah, who knows when age of consent laws came into effect? I mean, Spike got turned into a vampire in the 1880s. I don't think it was there.
Does Buffy have a thing for British guys, like Europeans, or just vampires? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. She did date Riley, who's just corn-fed Iowa boy.
Yeah. Yeah, but she didn't get a chance to date any, like an Italian guy, from Italy, just like traveling through, stopping in Sunnydale on his way.
Yeah, we saw a lot of British, I guess UK, because Angel's Irish.
Yeah.
But where's the other, like, we need to, well, Dracula. Dracula's Transylvania.
Transylvania, yeah.
Okay, so that's a little Eastern Europe situation. Yeah. We got to get some different ethnicity vampires.
I mean, at least Xander went for Inca Mummy Girl,
Yeah.
Like Xander had the Riz, Inca Mummy Girl, Kendra, wherever fictional place she came from.
Jamaica.
Jamaica by way of Ireland.
Jamaica.
Oh yeah, I remember when the Irish colonized Jamaica. Remember that? That historical fact.
Yeah, dude, that accent. But in this episode, later on in the series, I became like a very big hater of Willow. But she's charming in this episode. Like this is where it's like, okay, she's still like got some plans. She's a little brave. And, like Xander's been kind of a constant, I feel like, throughout the series. Like he gets, he grows as a character, but like nothing like Willow. And in this episode, I was like, Willow's not that bad here.
Yeah, for me, I think Willow really works for Joss Whedon's style of writing. Like, yes. I think she's really good at delivering the lines that he gives her.
Yes.
And that was clear when we watched the unaired pilot, which you can listen to, the podcast on that, where they recast Willow. But yeah, like she's really, like she lands those jokes. She has a good balance with Buffy early on.
Mm-hmm.
Then she just becomes, then it's just your preference of characters in high school and college,
Yeah. And at this point, too, I was like, I knew that Cordelia became a Scoobie, but I can't really pinpoint the day that she, like, did become.
This is the episode.
This is the episode that it's like, oh, okay, she's an official member.
Yep.
Like, when did she find out about vampires? I cannot remember.
She should have found out about it in the second episode of the series. When she was held on stage at the Bronze by one. But I think this is somewhere after
Was she included in like the Master episode?
I think this
Prophecy Girl.
Slayer Fest hasn't happened yet.
No.
I would have to see
what's
happening.
Like she had to have found out like during, because the previous episode, the School Heart is Some Assembly Required, where they're trying to like chop up Cordelia and make her a hot zombie.
I think she finds out that Angel's a vampire in the previous episode, because that's the one he's wearing his like beige.
Where he's trying to switch it up.
Yeah. But this is when she just, and they, in the trivia, they said, we pan over and we see her and she's in the library making weapons. This is her official. She's kind of part of the group.
Yeah.
And we brought up on that podcast, crazy that she's a part of the group, yet still throwing shade.
Right?
Throwing so much shade at Buffy. And you're just like, that lady saved your life. That lady can kill you.
Yeah.
Just the confidence.
I mean, that's the Cordy confidence, baby.
Yeah.
One part of this episode
the episode before School Heart is Some Assembly Required, and that is when Xander has to save her from being ripped apart.
Hot zombie lady.
Yeah. So that's what really roped her in. That's a good episode. Why don't we do Some Assembly Required? I like that one.
Hey, it's not too late.
We're just gonna start watching from here. This is School Heart is sandwiched between Some Assembly Required and Inca Mummy Girl.
And then next is Reptile Boy.
Not my favorite. Reptile Boy is not my favorite. Boy? But then you get Halloween.
Fantastic episode. The one thing that I was noticing about this episode, going back and watching it and thinking about, like, would this be a great entry point for somebody that's never watched Buffy? Like, could I show them this episode and pique their interest? The one part that I feel like doesn't work for that too, another part that doesn't work for that anyway, is Angel's inclusion in this episode.
We brought it up, but man, I hate that he walked into the library and then left.
What a piece of shit.
What non-information? It's like, hey, let's go in there, let's have a bunch of jokes about us dating, and then leave.
Yeah.
The crazy part is on the podcast, we were like, yeah, they should just start dating. We know they're a vampire. They like each other. Who cares? Like,
yeah,
we were pro just like, let's get rid of this whole will they, won't they?
Yeah. Because like, even what like Buffy says about it, she's like, you've been dating for 200 years.
Yeah.
Fucking, what?
Is that what she thinks vampires do?
Yeah.
just going on casual dates.
I love the Willow math about like how many dates he's been on, though. I remember enjoying that the first time. But like when they're talking openly about Spike, Angel saunters in, oh no, Spike is real dangerous. Where he starts something, he doesn't stop till he's finished. And then they immediately go to like, how come you weren't at the bronze? Didn't think that you were going to show up. I said, maybe. Well, maybe you should have told me that. I was just trying to be cool. It's like, this is the most dangerous vampire that you feel like you've come across. He's killed 2 Slayers, and all you do is say, oh yeah, he's dangerous, and then leave.
This is why, like, we're not teen girls watching this show. So, like, the teen girls watching the show, like, I don't care about vampires. Oh my God, is the hot vampire that didn't show up at the bronze? You know, like, it's, I know what they're doing here. I know why they have that there. But it's, when we're watching it, we're like, hey, give them the information. I think you can do both. I think you can do both. That's
totally.
Thing. And
I just hate that he, like, Batmans them.
Yeah. Well, like, hey, can you tell us a little more information about the guy who killed a bunch of Slayers? You know, the one that you're flirting with?
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like, if he cares about Buffy and he wants to go on another date with her, maybe give her the info about this dangerous vampire that showed up and is threatening Buffy.
What were you doing, Angel, last night that you weren't at the bronze, the most dangerous spot in the world? Maybe you should be the protector of the bronze, because, yeah, that place needs someone to watch over it, because that alleyway is just... It's like the entrance.
Yeah.
Because we brought up, when Spike's like, someone's biting this girl, no one goes out to help. He said that at full volume, everyone just kept dancing. Only Buffy ran outside.
And again, that was such a good plan by him, because he's like, I think that this might be the Slayer.
No, I brought it up.
Let me confirm it.
I brought it up last podcast. I don't think he was trying to confirm that she was the Slayer. I think he was wanting to test out what her fighting style. He knew it was the Slayer.
All right.
I think he wanted to see how good she was, because his first question is, how tough is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to.
Regardless,
I don't think he's thinking it's Willow. I don't think he thinks it's Willow. You know,
I think it's still a good plan, though, even if he is just trying to test her, see how tough she is.
Oh, yeah, that's
let some other guy take the fall, you know?
Yeah, crazy that a vampire gets killed and he just goes back to the vampire hideout.
Well, crazy that a vampire gets killed and then he goes up and he's like, hey, you're Buffy, you're the Slayer? And Buffy's like, yeah, who are you? And he's like, I'm Spike. I'll see you Saturday. I'm going to kill you on Saturday. Deuces. And then he walks away.
The beginning of Buffy just letting vampires walk away.
I mean, he walks away. Doesn't even like throw a smoke bomb.
Nope. Just,
oh, man.
Yeah, she just stands there. I just love it with so much time that they were able to go outside. Xander was able to go outside, get the girl that was being attacked, go back inside, look for a steak, and then come back outside to give it to Buffy. No one else was like, it's a club. They normally have a bouncer or something. No one's like, why are you running in and out of this place? Like, there's just nothing. But
yeah, there's nobody checking IDs.
No.
Not at the Bronze, where 16-year-olds go.
Where 16-year-olds go to study.
Yeah. To study, to dance, and to die.
Yeah. I gotta say, Buffy's doing a great job of fake TV dancing in this. Where, like, they don't really have the music playing sometimes when they're in these scenes, and she's just doing her, like, couple moves, so it doesn't look too off. She's doing that hands up hip thing. And I was like, all right, this is probably the best you can do in this situation where you're not actually dancing, because it's always awkward.
The every white girl dance move.
Yeah, just like that.
Hands
like,
in the air.
Yeah, just the hands move. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Me and Vance are doing dancing.
And it was one of those funny... It's one of those things where it's like, that's not even like you're having fun dancing. It's just like you're there moving out of obligation.
Yeah. It's like your friend is in the band and you want to show like, hey, I'm here.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You had to pay $15 to come see you again, but all right.
It's so crazy. Like, if they didn't go to the Bronze that day and Spike wasn't there, that girl's just dead because of a vampire, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Every day. There's so many vampires you would assume that they're eating people.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I mean, Spike, it didn't even seem like Spike bothered to kill the two guys that were walking with Sheila. They were just like in the dumpsters afterwards.
I think he killed them.
He didn't feed on them. I mean, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But like those guys are just like dead bodies. Like, why
Spike
would
is a ninja. Spike is a ninja.
Yeah. Why would you ever go to the Bronze, dude? Like, so many people die there.
Because the Bronze is hopping, man.
I don't know, man.
On a Tuesday night, where else are you gonna go? when you go out on a Wednesday night as a high school student.
Gotta get ready for the parent-teacher conference and also study French.
Yeah.
And also slay vampires. I guess it makes sense for Buffy to go because people die there every single day.
Yes, she should be obligated to go there. Oh, there's that line where her mom's like, oh, wait till you get a job. And then she goes to she pulls out her weapons drawer and goes,
yeah,
I already have a job.
Though, okay, so this is where I think that people throw in that the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie is semi-canonical, is because of the whole burning down the gymnasium of the last school, which is what happens in the movie.
It doesn't happen in the movie. They wanted that to happen in the movie, I think. There was something, I don't think they burned down the gym. I think they fight at the prom. Again, you can listen to that also. We released an episode on that.
But the prom is in the gymnasium.
The prom is in the gymnasium, but I think he originally wanted that to burn down, but it didn't in the movie So they're referencing her burning it down because that was in the original script.
Isn't it crazy that dances happened on like basketball courts, like just rubbing a fucking teenage boner up against the lady's butt?
I mean, what do you think a basketball game is?
And like the next day, it's like high level competition going on there, like gym class.
I mean, we had dances like in our auditoriums too.
Yeah, I think we had hours in our lunchroom.
We never had one in our lunchroom.
Yeah, but they would just like clear out all the tables in our lunchroom and just.
My high school looks completely different now. I'm sure they've done so much stuff.
Finger bang a lady on the dance floor.
Oh boy, Joe.
Talk about school hard, am I right?
So there's some fun imagery of Willow watching Cordelia praying at the end. I thought that scene was fun.
Oh yeah.
I thought Willow's look in that scene was great.
Yeah.
She was her like disdain for Cordelia was perfect.
Yeah, she doesn't like Cordelia. I like I said, dude, Willow's good in this episode. I enjoyed Willow, her acting, her characterization.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't getting like all of these passes for doing evil stuff, and this is pre-witchcraft, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So she's still like doing stuff. Like she bonks a vampire on the head, saves Cordelia's life.
I love that vampire. She's like, "Hey," and that vampire looks at her and then gets hit. I missed these stunt people from the earlier seasons.
Oh, my God.
The Buffy stunt double was always like so overly animated, and I loved it. Like you could tell immediately. And Spike's when they cut the Spike's
stunt
one
double, bro.
Dude, that wig. I was like, who is that?
It's like Ron Perlman.
Yeah. It was like a Hulk.
His head doubles in size.
Yeah.
It's so much.
And it's just like that one shot, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, man. Some of these stunt doubles, like, it's real bad in these early seasons.
But I really loved the original, like, Buffy one, because she would always, like, be, like, so overly, like, her movement would be so dramatic. Yeah. Every time she was like, oh, and she'd, like, do, like, these, like, wide, like, she'd squat down low all the time. She had such a different physicality. Like, you could tell when Buffy transitioned immediately.
Yeah, man. Like, I know what you're saying. Buffy's stunt double was like a lot more dynamic, like kinetic energy in her movement.
Yeah.
Like it was like every single time she was doing that kip up from the floor where you just like kick your legs into the air and you're standing and shit.
If you ever watched Conan, when he used to have the stunt guy come on to that show, and they would just have all those like other stunt people, and they would just do all the like overacting when Conan punches them. It's like that style of acting from her, which just makes it so much more fun. Because you see Buffy and she's like, and we know Sarah Michelle Gellar is not great at throwing punches.
Oh yeah.
So, and then you got this other one like, like so much energy. Like
it does add a little bit of electricity to the scenes though.
And the later seasons just don't have that. Like they kind of, it blends together. It doesn't necessarily blend together perfectly, but it's not so, this is a whole different human being.
Yeah. No, I remember specifically Angel's stunt double.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Being real bad. Like not even the same hairline, like just like 6 inches taller than Angel.
I mean, the Spike one in this is just so funny. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I'm all for that. Like I'm down to make the stunt people look like I don't need it to be seamless. That stuff makes me laugh and I can deal with it.
It's part of the charm of the show, I feel like. Like the campiness, you just like see that gigantic head with a blonde wig, not even the same length of hair.
No. And especially when they choose a shot where you're like, did they need a stunt person for that?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting. Go to your happy place for a happy price with Priceline's Black Friday sale. Save now and travel later with our best deals of the year.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Rated E to T. You're listening to an ad for PC Game Pass. Want new games on day one like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? How about living out your Sims life with EA Play? We're talking high-quality PC games all for one low monthly price. We got you. Learn more at xbox.com/PC Game Pass or click the banner. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle available December 9th, 2024. Game catalog varies by region and over time. Okay, that's the ad. You can go back to doing whatever you were doing now.
Going back to our theme of Buffy not chasing, when Spike at the end of the episode like gets bonked on the head, sees Joyce, who's just a regular person, and Buffy, and does that little run and jump out the window again.
With that
jump out to the window.
With his lady's jacket on.
Yeah, with Nikki Cox's jacket. Like, it's so crazy that he didn't decide to, like, take her mom hostage or something. Be like, oh, Slayer,
He knows the episode's over. They should have had the school bell ring.
Yeah. He's like, oh, shit, I gotta get to class.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I loved that it's Xander who jinxes them that leads to Spike. This is all Xander's fault. I get it if you hate Xander. This is all Xander's fault.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why'd you say that? Don't say that. Can't be that bad. No, you just double jinxed it.
I'll do a little fashion corner on Xander's shirt here.
Oh man, yeah, that Hawaiian shirt.
I don't hate the shirt fully. I hate where the design pattern matches on the chest, because you know how it has it, and then it's like it's two of the same parts when you button it, and they're right next to each other, but they don't button into the pattern that makes that whole shape one shape. It's like two prints, and then it's just like next to each other, and it's kind of distracting if you have like a mild OCD. Yeah, but
no, it's also like, I wouldn't have minded the shirt if he was wearing like khakis, but he's got that shirt and then he's got on his dad blue jeans that like perfectly match the shirt.
That's just very, very that time. That's very that time though too. But yeah, just that little pattern thing on the shirt.
I do gotta appreciate that he's wearing a messenger bag. I feel like I've talked about this on the podcast, but I wore a messenger bag throughout high school because very popular game for high school age boys, slapping each other in the nuts. And the messenger bag was a great protector for me.
I am so happy I did not have to deal with the nut taps that you kids do. That's dude. We wouldn't. I think that might be a race thing. I don't think a lot of black kids are nut tapping.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's
Yeah, no, they're fucking cup checking.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of like drawing on people when they're passed out, you know, like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
So I like that you're like, we got there.
I'm glad he's got the messenger bag. Not necessarily for fashion, but for protection. He lives in a town full of vampires. Gotta protect the nuts.
You gotta protect the nuts. The last thing you want is to get slapped in the nuts when there's a vampire running around.
he needs a steel collared turtleneck.
Yeah. We also see a little bit of history with, as Spike calls him in this episode, Angelus, not Angelus. Nice little. Now that we know the history between those two, we see a lot of flashbacks and how long they've known each other. You know, Spike says, "You are my sire," which we took issue with, but according to the trivia on IMDb, Spike considers like his whole lineage. There's a little angel plug for you. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. Spike's whole lineage he considers his sire. So it's like Drusilla, Angel, Darla, the Master. he would say, "You're my sires," which, I guess could make sense.
I had that note written down where I was like, oh, he's at sire, but he's really his grandsire. But then it's like, technically, sure.
Yeah,
that's
I could get down with that explanation, even if it was like a post retcon situation.
Yeah,
I'll get down with that.
Yeah, I'll let that one slide. I won't let the Spike says that the Slayer he killed begged for her life. Yeah, she didn't do it, and they kind of made it clear that she didn't in the episode where he describes it. It's fine. They can change a little bit stuff here and there. It's all right.
I could also see that being like Spike, telling a tall tale, trying to get in Buffy's head, like, oh, the fish was this big when he was like fishing. Oh, she begged for her life. Or, it's been 30 years at that point. Maybe he's misremembering. Maybe he just started believing the lie he told himself.
That's like a drop in a bucket for a vampire. And we know that their brains heal, so they have elephant type memory, right?
Oh, yeah. They got great memory. They got super senses.
Yeah.
That's how Spike can hear Buffy moving around up through the ceiling.
What else is there? He mentions that Buffy he's like a Slayer having family and friends. What is that all about? Yeah.
Yeah, that is something that he does.
He's like, I've never had to fight a mom, a suburban, a single mom, and a Slayer. Yeah. That's too much. That's too much for one vampire.
He's really misremembering his fight against Nikki Cox really hard. A Slayer with a family. Oh, you mean the one that whose jacket you're wearing that had a son? Oh yeah,
yeah, or when you fought the one in the Boxer Rebellion who seemed like she probably had a good, stable base of people around her, probably.
Yeah, when she says, when Spike's about to kill her, she says something like, tell my mom I love her or something. He's like, sorry, love, don't speak Chinese. I forgot what a brutal line that was.
I mean, I like the brutality of the dude. He's a vampire. Yeah. I've always liked Spike being bad.
Yeah. That's
what makes him a good bad. And watching him and Angelus together, it just reinforced that they're the peak big bads of the series.
Absolutely.
Just like the two of them in that scene together. Like once Angel starts pretending to be Angelus, it's so fun. The vibe he has, the joking, I do a little sad tortured act. He's like, it's like, we're getting the seeds of what's to come in this season. Yeah. It just reminded me why I ranked this one my top season, even though, you can be argued for 3.
No, it's a good season. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But it worked especially well, too, when fucking at the end of this season, when Buffy's having to kill Angel, and Spike is like, hey, I'm still a bad guy, but I don't want the world to end, so I will team up with you on this one occasion. Yeah. But still, I'm a bad guy, but I want to save my girl and leave. I'm not on board with this Angelus plan.
Yeah.
But I'm still a bad guy. Like, I love moments like that.
Yeah. He hangs
like
out
in
with
Spider-Man.
He hangs out with Joyce, and they're like, oh, you hit me with an axe. She's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. But like it's like in Spider-Man, like when with the symbiotes, Spider-Man and Venom had to team up to take out Carnage at one point. And it's like, all right, yeah, we don't see eye to eye, but like the enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Like,
and then he just abandons Buffy. Like at that when she's fighting, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna help her. Because he's still a bad guy.
And that's what makes him a great bad guy.
It's very interesting, like the whole Drusilla of it all too. It's just like because they're like a Bonnie and Clyde serial killing duo, which is just great.
Yeah, and like, I mean, obviously later on, Drusilla kills like their Slayer taker outers, dude.
Yeah,
like he's got 2, she's got 1 later on. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. What else is there? Yeah, there's not a lot other stuff in here. I mean, I like the school, them going around in the school was interesting.
It was nice to see that setting again.
Yeah.
I loved Willow's line after fucking Cordelia's being rude. She's like, hey, Cordelia, have some lemonade. After it's established that this lemonade tastes like shit.
It made me it reminded me when she had him delete her. They were in the computer lab and she had her delete her whole project.
Yes.
They really don't like each other, and it's great.
No, dude, these early seasons, the playing off of each other, the characterizations are so strong. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they fuck it all up.
Yeah. It's what is it, like the real world? Like when people stop pretending and start being real. It's like, it's like, oh, that's what happened season 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And I mean, Cordy disappears. Cordy's gone after the high school years
season
too.
3.
So,
goes to LA to be an actress.
They don't replace her with anyone either, really.
Yeah, there's not like a smart aleck, like bitchy person.
Yeah. There's no one to keep them in check.
Well, I guess it's because like once you get to college, there's no like popular. I'm the popular kid at college. You know?
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, the closest we had was Sunday being the popular vampire on campus. I don't know.
No head cheerleader. Like
there wasn't even like a nerd in class that wasn't Willow. Like Willow. If Willow wasn't Buffy's friend, Willow would be that character in college. That's like cocky for being smart in college, and that would really eat at Buffy because she has insecurity issues about her being smart.
Yeah, I mean that we still have that here. Like people are trashing Buffy for being dumb.
Angel calls her dumb. I was like, yeah, they just... What did you think of Giles' decision to go out and try to fight and sending Xander to go get Angel? We talked about it on the previous podcast, but it was like, why not send Jenny Calendar away?
Yeah. I guess she's safest in the library. He's doing his manly...
You're not,
I'm gonna protect
you're not
her.
Safest in a place where the vampires are. Outside of the school would be safer. Yeah.
I guess Xander could have taken Jenny to safety.
Yes. If Xander can get to Angel and back, I think that's the safest place. You guys could all go. I think Giles is like, I'm going to go save my pseudo daughter that I'm going to abandon seasons later.
It's my duty to protect her. Oh, I'm not part of the Watchers anymore? See ya. Toodles.
That secret oath, the thing I spent like 20 years of my life doing. I just want to be riding a horse in the countryside.
Even after Buffy's like, please don't go. Please teach me something. Please teach me something. Wait until the end of the season and I will.
Yeah. Your friend's going to have to get really, really crazy before I come back.
Yeah. You rank, arrogant amateur.
Yeah. Enjoy hanging out with your fake daughter. Yay. Your fake sister. Your fake sister. All right, bye.
Yeah, man. But upon rewatching this episode, I think it's not the best entry point.
It's a good episode, but you need some context.
Yeah, the whole Anointed One thing, like that was built up for a long time. Like that was the Master's whole plan. Like, hey, we're going to have this Anointed One and he's going to be like my successor and bring about the apocalypse or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the kid's voice dropped and Joss Whedon was like, nope.
Yeah, I think I brought up that he was aging the last podcast, that he was growing up too soon, but it was like the voice changing. I think you can get away with that. I think you can get away with him aging a little bit too and just fudge it like, oh, wow, I've never seen a vampire age before. He's the Anointed One. You can change all the rules. This whole thing is all made up right now.
Yeah.
And it worked out. I think he didn't like the kid actor, probably. I mean, whatever. But I'm happy it gave us Spike. But I could see the Anointed One utilizing him. He doesn't have to talk. Or you could just dub a new voice in. Or
you could also
do
say,
anything.
Like, the darkness has taken over and is making his voice deeper or something.
Yes. He can make anything, I'm watching The Boys right now, or not now, but I've watched the season of The Boys, and the kid's voice is like cracking all the time. Like, I don't know if you've seen memes of that or any clips of it, but the kid's voice is constantly in the middle of cracking, and it's so funny. And it's like it works for the character, and they just going with it, you know?
Yeah, dude, fucking. Also, the Anointed One, he sits on his little boxes, like he's posing for like a J.C. Penney type headshot. Like, he's constantly like got a hand on his hip, forearm on his like knee. Like, what are you talking about?
I think we brought this up in a previous podcast. Is they don't know who Spike is, but Spike knows who the Anointed One is.
Yeah,
like how?
Dude, Spike should be legendary.
But Spike also should know about who the Anointed One is, right? Because this seems very new too.
Maybe he got it through one of Drusilla's visions about his sire, aka the Master, dying and getting the Anointed One in place.
The line when Spike shows up and he goes, "Home, sweet home."
Yeah.
What the fuck is he talking about?
The Hellmouth, you know?
He's not from this. And there's Hellmouths everywhere. So what is he like? I get that they wanted that line, but it made it seem like, oh, he's an old vampire from Sunnydale coming back to his haunts. Maybe that's what they kind of wanted him to be, but it doesn't make sense at all. Later in the episode when Angel sired him. Yeah. That would make him only like 30 years old or something.
Yeah. I also I miss Spike's car. That car was so ridiculous.
The traffic stop car, the car that would get pulled over everywhere. He's driving cross country with like his windows covered.
Yeah. He's got them heavy tints, baby, with his trash bags all over there.
Like, what does he do if he gets pulled over? He just can't. He just can't.
He kills the cop.
But like, he can't even eat it. Like, the sun would burn him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He can't roll down the window.
You can pull him in. You can yank him in.
Yeah, I guess he does have big bad energy where he gets to be in the sun for a little bit without it instantly killing you.
Yeah.
No.
Not like regular vampires where it's just like instant incineration.
In the podcast, I mentioned that I thought there needed to be more of a build, like more of a screaming and on fire for the Anointed One, but they might not have wanted to do it because it was a kid or something. Because I don't think we had seen too many vampires die in sunlight at this point. Because this is before the episode where that vampire catches on fire in the classroom in front of all the students in Sunnydale.
Yeah.
Which is still insane to me. Still insane that you were at the school, watch someone come in, talk to Buffy, and burst into flames.
Yep.
School's canceled that day.
Yeah, oh yeah. Everyone sees the guidance counselor.
Yes, everyone's getting a BetterHelp account for free.
Yeah, I mean, I will say also it seems like the vampires take a lot longer to die once they've been staked in these earlier seasons.
They did it for the joke, for real. Like that one where she tried to hit him with the axe. He's like, haha, you missed me. Looks down, sees the stake, and then it's Looney Tunes rules. It's like the Wile E. Coyote doesn't fall until he looks down. It's like if you don't see the stake inside of you, you don't die.
Sees the stake in his solar plexus.
Yeah.
Not his heart.
Vampires' hearts drift down as the years go on. Everyone knows that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that rule. Yeah.
No. I do like sometimes only the big bads has to be direct. Like Angel can get shot with an arrow right next to it, and they're like, "Ooh, just missed." Everyone else just a gut stab, belly button. Just yeah.
And the whole thing of like, if you let go of the stake while it's in there, the stake disappears. But if you yank it back, stake's still there.
Yeah. That stake. This one, he falls off camera and it like is a puff of like glitter.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I don't know. I watched season 7. I watched Anya kill a Turrican with an axe to the midsection.
Yeah.
So, we come a long way.
We have. We absolutely have. Shit, I had something else. Oh, the one thing that when Spike puts the anointed one in that cage and he starts yanking up that chain, the pulley system, I was like, this is taking a long time. I thought that it was like, he had to pull that up for quite a while.
I will say, I think they needed to do something with the anointed one before they killed him off. I think we needed to see the potential of the anointed one and then have Spike kill him. I just feel like if you had something with the anointed one, you could do like the end of the anointed one's plan or something. You know what I mean? I want to know why the anointed one was going to be a threat. Because right now he looks like
Drusilla do a little clairvoyance on him because she can tell. She's like, this one has power.
I need show, not tell. I need him. Like right now, all it seems like he is just a little kid that has a couple vampire flunkies. Like, how is he any different than Sunday or Harmony when she gets her gang of people? Like, what sets this anointed one apart? Why is the anointed one going to be a threat to Buffy? Because when Spike kills him, it's not even like we're surprised that he could do it.
Yeah,
it's shocking that it happened, but it's not like the anointed one's so powerful that Spike couldn't do that. I just wanted something like you see him like. I mean, even if you just showed him torturing some other person, like, man, that's how you guys kill people here. The anointed one's fucking sick. Just something like otherwise. Like he walks in, the anointed one's like coming up, he's covered in blood and just like, what are you? And he goes to shake his hand. I just need something that makes the anointed one seem like a threat. And then you could kill him off.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you. Are you a little disappointed that they didn't really do anything else with this St. Vigius Day? Because they build up St. Vigius as like, this is something crazy.
We talked about that on the podcast, but I don't really care about the St. Vigius Day thing. That's a clear mislead so that it can happen on that Thursday and Spike comes in.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could have been another one of those things like Buffy's birthday, like annually. It's like, oh shit, St. Vigius Day's coming up.
I mean, I'm surprised St. Vigius Day doesn't show up in later seasons. If you're just like, all right, we got to come up with an episode for this 22 episode season. Oh, we have the St. Vigius Day thing that we never paid off. Let's do that. But we actually don't even know what that is or what it does. Or does Giles even explain it?
I think he does.
Yeah, I probably zoned out when he was talking about it because I knew it didn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. He does explain it. He's like, oh, this is an important night for vampires. I think that Angel even explains it too.
Angel just comes in and be like, Spike's bad. I'm out.
Yeah, Spike's bad. Sorry to show up at the Bronx.
Yeah. You guys should get some security at this school. I know the principal's a hard ass, but like people can just walk in and out of here.
And I got to tell you, it is disappointing to me that St. Vigius don't even think he's a real person.
That disappoints you? When they've made up, when they were just making up stuff the whole time? Why would that disappoint you?
Pisses me off.
All right. Sure. This episode has an anointed one and Drusilla, but St. Vigius. That's the thing.
Yeah. An ancient medieval vampire who led a crusade through Edessa and other locations in the Middle East.
I do love that vampires have their own little lore like that. That's what I think I like, is that they have their... I think it actually works for the ending when Spike kills the anointed one and says, we're not going to do all the...
We're going to have a little bit pomp and circumstance and a little bit more fun.
Yeah, just getting rid of some stuff. So that makes sense. Like that says, hey, we're not going to celebrate the St. Vigius Day. We're not going to do all the weird ceremonies. We're just going to... This is going to be fun now. And this is the perfect way to reset a show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they tried to do that a couple times. Like, I don't know if it's a reset, but when Caleb shows up, it feels like a reset type situation.
Yeah. I mean, they do it in Angel.
Oh, yeah. Angel is full of resets.
Yeah.
That show,
do it in Angel.
That show will be resetting itself like crazy.
Yeah. Especially season 4. There's like 3 resets in that. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay.
Yeah.
That's where the in and out, are you in or out fucking thing came up with. Because at a certain point, I was like, I'm fucking done with Angel. I think I'm out on this show. And then I was like, I'm back in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is a good episode. Yeah, this
Hard?
is a good episode. I think
honestly, it's tough to talk about good episodes.
Well, I mean, it's not tough to talk about, but we've already talked about it. So
yeah, that's true.
There's not like I was happy to see this again, to see a little bit of the seeds of stuff that they had planning. But yeah, I mean, this is a solid episode. I got no real. It was interesting to see the intro song again. Interesting to see the high school. Always good to see Principal Snyder.
Dude,
Spike
underrated.
comes in on fire too. I mean, watching it, you're like, I get it. I get why people liked him. Yep. Like, how could you not? He comes in charismatic, fun, gets rid of a character that everyone was like, I don't know, on the fence about. He has a history with Angel, so now that makes Angel more interesting by connection.
Yeah. Unique look, awesome side piece situation.
Decent transition from vamp face to regular face too, for the time.
Yeah.
They actually did it. You could see it on a smoother. I mean, it gets better, but
yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our episode on School Hard. We're doing another rewatch episode next week, and the way that we came up with this, we did a random number generator, and we were like, let's just see what episode this is going to be. We did 1 through 144. Just pick a number, random number generator, and we'll see what you shit out. And we landed on, what's it, episode 83 or something? What was it? I forget what it was, but I know what episode. The name of the episode, it's season 5, episode 5, No Place Like Home, which is a pretty pivotal episode. I'm glad that this number generator actually came through on this one.
Yeah, we went with the number generator because me and Joe have been debating which episodes, and then we're like, well, that one has this thing in it, and that's probably not going to be that fun to talk about, or we talked about it enough, and it was just to the point where we were so in our heads about what episode. Because again, our goal is to watch an episode that's going to lead to a good podcast discussion, not let's watch an episode we liked and then just talk about why we liked it for the second time. Or let's watch an episode we didn't like and talk about why we didn't like it for the second time. We want to go back and like revisit something with a new perspective, having done the whole season. That's why going back to School Hard, I think Amends and Rustlers were good to go back to with having context, especially Amends tying into the first evil coming back. This one, seeing where Spike ends up in the series to see where he started. I think that's interesting. And this episode that we're going to watch, dealing with Dawn's reveal.
Yeah, this is season 5, episode 5, No Place Like Home.
Yeah, this should be interesting. And I don't think we would have picked this outside of the number generator. I don't think it would have been all this. Yeah.
I honestly, looking at the name of the episode, I would have been like, I don't even know what that episode's about. But then once the random number generator picked it, I was like, oh yeah, this is a pretty important episode in the canon of Buffy. And it's the, first meeting between Buffy and Glory, who great big bad. Great big bad. And it's Buffy being very suspicious of like who Dawn is and what Dawn is. And doing a spell that kind of like reveals to her like, hey, not everything is as it seems here.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. This is like where we get the Dawn's fake situation.
Yeah. So we got a couple more rewatches coming, and some special things down the line. And we're gonna get to Firefly pretty soon though. Like I think we're winding down on the rewatches, and we're gonna probably dive into Firefly sooner than later. But
we're doing a couple more rewatches because we've got a little something on the schedule that I think that all of you listeners are going to very much enjoy.
Yeah.
Got a little something that's been going on behind the scenes, and it's going to be dope.
Yeah.
And so we're doing some rewatches and trying to get some more context for Buffy before we start Firefly. Also trying to line up I think somebody in Discord was like, I think that they're trying to line up the end of Angel with the end of Firefly. Sussed it out. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, totally. We're doing that because we want to start the next series that we do after Firefly, which I think a lot of people are going to be very happy about.
Yeah. Or maybe not so happy.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
I'm excited about it, really. I'm excited for Firefly, and I'm excited for the next series.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm half excited for the series we're going to do after Angel on Patreon.
Yeah, I'm interested, but the next one after Firefly, I'm real excited about.
Yeah.
But so that is a wrap, everybody, for School Hard. Hope you enjoyed it. Join our Discord. Link is in the show notes. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We're doing Boys Watching Angel. Jawbreaker should be up soon. And a lot of random fun stuff that I've got going on here. I got to fucking... Don't blame me on this one, okay? Tatas for Now is surprisingly hard to book for being my girlfriend. She is a busy woman, okay? She's got gigs out the fucking wazoo and classes that she's teaching, 2 jobs in addition to all of that. Very difficult woman to book. So I'm trying to get some more of those blind reaction videos because I've got the files all lined up. We've got blind reactions to lots of different characters coming up.
Yeah.
But she is booked, my friends.
I just hung out with her the other day. I don't know why you can't.
You fucking lie, Vance. You fucking lie. But yeah, so be on the lookout for those random drops on the Joe's Fashion Report /corner situation. You want to get a shout out? Apple Podcast 5-star rating review, Spotify 5-star rating. Let's take a screenshot of it, send it in to us. Amazon wish list, we still got that going on. Couple of things on there. We got merch that exists in the world. And Instagram is @BoysWatchingBuffy. Email is boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. And stay tuned next time for when we rewatch No Place Like Home.
Darling, are you going to eat something?
I'm not hungry. I miss Prague.
You nearly died in Prague, idiot mob.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.